welcome to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button and also the bell icon so you don't miss a single video. And with that form of excitement in my mind, I bet you probably know exactly what we're talking about. Planet Coaster 2's announcement trailer just recently launched, and we are about, well, when I say we, I mean I am about to mention some of the ideas that I had in mind that could potentially be in Planet Coaster 2. So let's get started. Before I actually do start though, I need to do a copyright disclaimer that obviously some of the footage of trailers and stuff that I've put in here I am allowed to use. It's under the Fair Use Copyright Act due to the fact that this topic is using my own research and my own comment of the, creation of Planet Coaster 2 and stuff like that. So it's basically falling under comment and research, which is part of the Fair Use Copyright Act. So, yes, here we go, Planet Coaster 2. And I'm going to start off with actually showing you the trailer of what has been announced directly from that exact trailer.
Then again,
when I walk outside with my head in the clouds, everywhere I go, I keep singing out. It's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna sing all my blues away. Everything's alright when I got you by my side. It's gonna be a good day. Sing it! Everything's alright when I got you by my side. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day.
Let's cover the most major thing that was announced in that trailer, and that was the water park theme section of Planet Coaster 2. This is completely new to Planet Coaster. It didn't happen in the first one that came out 8 years ago with Planet Coaster 1. Of course, Planet Coaster 2 has added a water park, and this is probably the first time in a long time since they last did a water park section of a Roller Coaster World. Last time they did that, I believe it was actually Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. So it's been quite a long time, and definitely worth that massive wait. And I'm looking forward to actually having that sort of water park section added to it as well, which is one of the biggest mentions. That you can make your own water slides and other things that people can enjoy just swinging around in and having fun at your park that you'll be making in your own sandbox mode. And I believe also you'll get your own brand new tutorials and stuff in a career mode and stuff like that. So the water park feature is something very interesting that they added to the game. Also, I noticed that they added a new tool for the pathways. You can now add like thicker, bigger pathways to make like plazas and stuff within your park, which is very interesting. And you can even decorate your own things. When it comes to the pathways, you can obviously use any defaults, or you can even like make your own pathways by yourself, like having your own theme for pathways, or you can use just the defaults that they set up with customization of your pathways, I believe. But yeah, the pathway thing, bigger ones, you can make your own plazas out of them, you can even add your own shops, and I believe they don't get destroyed. I'm not sure, but obviously having bigger pathways, having your own plazas and stuff like that, it's actually very interesting that they've added that to Planet Coaster 2. Another one that was mentioned, and that was with one of the flat rides, is the fact that you're going to have a tool where you can customize like the details of your rides. So obviously, I believe that was like a teacup sort of ride, and they had like it build a submarine as like a decoration, and it spun around with the rest of the ride and stuff. Like that's a very interesting idea, something that didn't actually happen in Planet Coaster 1. So having that in Planet Coaster 2 is something very interesting. Another thing that they mentioned was the fact that you can upsize and downsize things with a much more controllable size scaly thing. When it comes to like objects and scenery and stuff, you can actually make your scenery bigger and smaller, and you can customize it to your perfect size. Obviously, that was done in Planet Coaster 1, having to size it, but it was a little awkward to size it the way that you had to do it. So maybe something a little bit more easier and a bit more simple way to actually set your size scale when it comes to like adding your scenery, like your rocks or whatever. You know, having that chance where it's a bit more simplified. Maybe you have like a little thing where, like, if it's console edition, you just move the stick up and down to the sort of like size it, like almost like little slide panels sort of thing. Like that could be really cool. Not like literally sizing not just the height but like the width and stuff, as well as like the size of the grid, so it like squeezes into what you want with the park, which will be very interesting. But yeah, size scale is a interesting thing that they've added to it. Of course, they've added new shops and other features to go with it, which I'm absolutely happy for. They've got new things as well when it comes to customers wanting to buy foods and drinks and other merchandise that the park can have. Is something quite interesting. And of course, they've added some new coasters to the park, including an actual surf coaster as well, which is very interesting, as well as a pipeline coaster as well. So they've added some new segments of different roller coasters that you can build, as well as other flat rides and other things like that. Hopefully, some of the flat rides and stuff that were featured in the extension packs of Planet Coaster 1 will be just full-fledged in the game, alongside the water park bits as well. That would be very fun. Of course, one big thing that was part of it in the first one was changing the look of your world. So like if you wanted like a lake or something, you could use like a feature that could make it dig. They could a landscaping tool. Like they'll be bringing that back, but maybe on a different way. I would like to see if they ended up making the landscaping tool a little bit more simplified and a little easier to follow. Because, like, there's something with that landscaping tool in the first one that just seems a bit awkward. And, like, it's hard to sort of set, like, your water levels to a different point and stuff. Like, say you wanted a lake somewhere within your park. Like, it was hard to dig and get your water level of your lake right to the surface and stuff. It was rather difficult to get that done, and I hope that something like that will be fixed and having much more simple and easier ways to actually get that landscaping done within your park. One thing I hope they are going to add to Planet Coaster 2 is a weather system, like a weather cycle. They can have obviously a default set depending on like usually your month section in your sandbox mode usually starts in March, which is usually like the start of an opening season of theme parks. But like having that chance where it has its own default weather cycles, where like it's set seasonally, and like the actual land itself, the actual land of the park also changes depending on what season it is as well, which would be really cool. As well as the weather systems doing it as well. So having that look of the land, like say it's autumn, like leaves could be on the pathways and like it'll be raining a lot and stuff like that. Not only could you have its own very default weather cycle, but maybe one that you can customize yourself to fit the theme of your park that you want to do. Let's say, I don't know, you want to do a snow theme park and you picked like a classic alpine world, like having that chance to self enhance your own weather system where it snows and where you can set your system completely in a way that it feels like it's a wintry set will be really cool. So like not just having its own default weather cycle, you can also have your own customizable weather cycle. I would definitely love to see that in Planet Coaster 2. Another thing I'd definitely like to see in Planet Coaster 2 is a much bigger scaled area that you can build your park in. I felt like the first one in the first Planet Coaster, it was a bit too small, and I don't think there was a really a way. I might have to double check that when I get the game back soon, because I'll have to get Planet Coaster 1 so I can get used to Planet Coaster 2 and stuff, but I can't really remember having a way where I could upgrade the land and make it bigger if I wanted to. I think there was, but I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to check it. But yeah, like having an actual bigger way or a much default big area to build it, much bigger than it was in the first one. And maybe if you reach a certain amount of money, you're gonna have your own chance to upgrade that land and make it bigger, some way or somehow, like something like that. Like you can have your own special little levels. I kind of like using that based on almost like Park Beyond, from Bandai Namco, like where if you level up, like you have your own special levels in each theme park, but when you level up, or if you've got a certain amount of money per level, you can like use a bit of that money to like expand your park or something like that. Something like, just a different way to have your park full on expandable whenever you need to expand it. If you reach that limit and you want your park bigger, you can have that chance to expand it on a much easier level. That's what I'm trying to get through. But there could be different ways that they could let you earn that chance to expand your park, whether or not that's doing it by upgrading a level or reaching levels by building certain things. Maybe they have their own little quests or something, I don't know. Or maybe having to achieve a certain amount of money per level or so, I don't know. But like having possibly like some levelable way to expand your land or just do it whenever you want. Either one or the other, I'm not sure. But something like that. Another thing I would like to see in Planet Coaster 2 is a supreme staff building. So obviously each staff room that you had in the first one only had one gimmick that you could add to it. Like it could be a set where the staff can rest and stuff. But what if they had a staff room where every single gimmick that you were able to add to the staff room in the first one is already included within it and you don't have to add any new gimmicks to it? It's just full on a default where you have a chance for the staff to sit back and relax, get health there and stuff like that. All the little attributes that you had in the first one, they're already installed to your staff building. And usually per staff room, you could have up to 10 staff members, I believe, in the first one. That should be removed. And it doesn't matter how much members of staff you've got in your park, all of them can be in just that one building. And yeah, having that chance where they've got their own chance to just do stuff without any limits of how many people can be in that building. And maybe if you earn a certain amount of money or do a certain amount of levels, you can even choose a chance to like upgrade your staff room to make it bigger and more spacious for more members of staff. So maybe it'll start as a default of 10, but maybe like each time you level up or something, or like whenever you level up, you can get your own chance to choose what you want to upgrade within your park. So if you wanted to upgrade the staff building, you can. Maybe add another 10 people, so your max will go up to 20, and do something like that each time you level up, or something like that. I don't know. Like, that would be kind of interesting for the staff room to have, like, barely much of a limit, maybe every single member of staff, or maybe have a level up section where each time you level up, you can, like, have a chance to upgrade certain things within your park. But yeah, definitely something like that for the staff rooms and stuff. Speaking of the term of buildings, you can self-build your own different buildings as well in a probably much easier way compared to what it was in the first one. I'd say it would be probably much more of a simplistic way to actually build your own different buildings, your own features in your park, which is probably going to be the best way to do it, because in part one it was just far too difficult. So something a little bit more simplistic to build, or you can even have your own default already built buildings, but you can just add your own bits and bobs to it as well. Now here comes flat rides that I would like to see. I'd like to see the Miamis, the ones that they're having like fun fairs. I'd also like to see the waltzers, also from fun fairs. They already had the Sizzler, which they called it the Scissor. But yeah, they already had the Sizzler, having like the Miami or the Waltzer. They could even have their own ghost train in there as well, which would be really, really cool as a flat ride as well. Have their own ghost train, have their own new batch of different flat rides. You've already got your teacups and stuff and all that sort of stuff. Having like ghost train, waltzers, Miami, like even a Matterhorn would work as well. Other different flat rides that weren't in the first one could be in the second one. So new flat rides. Obviously, I've already mentioned that they'll have some new coasters like the Surf Coaster and the Pipeline. Possibly even upgrades to the previous coasters that they had in Planet Coaster 1 as well. Having your own ideas of how you'd theme it around and stuff. And another thing I'd like to mention is a much simple way to build your very own roller coaster. I felt it was just too hard to actually build your own. Obviously, I believe they'll still have the same sort of method of making sure it's good, like you have your traffic light behavior system thing when it comes to your ratings and tests and stuff, but a much easier way to do it, like you can, much easier way that you can have things smoothened, even when you're adding track to the ride. You can smooth it out in a certain way. So like if you're wanting an inversion but you're handcrafting it, it's a smoother inversion, where it's usually in the first one it was rather rough every single track you added on. You can even have shorter pieces of track and stuff like that, so you can do it like piece by piece. Even have your own custom supports for the rides as well, depending on what ride you're choosing. It also comes with its default supports as well, stuff like that. So having a bit more of a simpler way to construct your own rides would be much better for Planet Coaster 2. And let me just now mention the availability of where it will be releasing. It will be releasing for Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5 and PC. Only those three consoles will have it. Unfortunately, it's not coming out for the Nintendo Switch, which is a shame. I would have put it on the Nintendo Switch. I would also suggest putting Planet Coaster 1 on Nintendo Switch at some point. I would definitely see it possibly working in the Switch as well, so adding that to the Switch would be a really good request to do. But at the moment, it's only Xbox and PlayStation and PC. Maybe in a later date, possibly the Switch, or I might save that for the Switch's successor instead. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want to see it come out for the Switch at some point, as well as the other consoles being included. And I think I've pretty much covered everything I think I should say about Planet Coaster 2 and what I'd like to see. So that's basically it. So thank you so much for being tuned. thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you all with the next video. But until then, goodbye.